Welcome and bienvenido a Jarama Race. Welcome back, spectators. The spectators here are back, and we are so glad for the penultimate round of the FIA European Truck Racing Championship. This is a very special truck, and to show you that, we had a special occasion driving around with Antonio Albacete, the local hero, in a golf car. Mecánico jefe, ¿sí? Your chief mechanic is always screaming un go cuando comienza, when you start. Do you need that from me today?
Vale, ok, sí, sí, sí.
Go!
Pero esto no corre mucho.
But we are so slow. You know, it is important when you start the races and you are starting behind the first row, you don't see the lights. It is important that someone tells you when to start.
Este circuito es especial porque
This is an old school circuit with very special curves.
y tiene curvas muy especiales. Toda la gente está muy cerca de la pista.
And also here in Jarama, the people are very close to the circuit. And even with the helmet on in the truck, you can hear them shouting or with their chainsaws.
Cuando gritan o cuando se ponen con las bocinas. ¡Va, va, va! Ahora estamos en la parte más alta del circuito.
This zone, we call it La Epica. Up there are the stables. It's one of the most complicated zones. You came from one of the S's, starting very low, and you need to brake very hard.
De unas S's que son a 160 a fondo, y es una frenada muy fuerte.
And in the turn, you need to find a line on the inside, accelerating more and more, and you need to brake here very well. This is the spot where the brakes can easily block, and you can easily slide off the track.
Es fácil aquí el bloquear los frenos y que te vayas un poco largo o incluso que te salgas.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the FIA European Truck Racing Championship, and also welcome to Spain. We are here at Harama. It's a beautiful circuit in San Sebastián de los Reyes, just north of Madrid, and as we heard from Antonio Albacete, it is one of those classic circuits that you really can't not like it really. It's got lots of motorsport pedigree. It's played host to 11 Formula One Grand Prix, so it's already got that furniture behind it. Just to prove it is a brilliant circuit, and we are going to see yet more action this weekend. The truck parade is just coming to a close. The drivers aboard at the top of the bus, just on their little parade as well. Great for the fans, of course. You can see the fans are back, so we've got packed grandstands and packed spectator areas as well. So all the drivers will be wished upon by all of the spectators here. You can see a little bit of internal track action getting underway. Here at Harama there are lots of experiences you can do. You saw the little kit car tearing around there. That is the Royal experience, where you really focus on your car handling, and you learn a little bit about how to handle a very light, very powerful car indeed. There's also the kart track and the Ferrari driving experience here, so you're not really short of things to do here at Harama. This weekend is packed of truck racing indeed, because we do have of course the FIA European Truck Racing Championship here. Also joining the championship is the Spanish Truck Racing Championship as well. So if you like trucks, it really is the place to be this weekend. And with the drivers and the truck parade slowly coming to a close, we will be able to go down to the grid in a few minutes time, just to get a quick little insight into how the weekend is going to play out. Of course, as I mentioned, Harama has played host to 11 Formula One Grand Prix, spread between 1967 and on and off all the way through until 1981, so it really does have that motorsport pedigree. It also hosts the Superbike World Championship as well as the World Touring Car Championship as well, so it really is a brilliant circuit, loved by many indeed. It was designed by John Hugenholtz, who also created Suzuka, so it's obviously a circuit that is favoured by the drivers but also by the spectators as well. Some really good spectating opportunities. If you are new to the FIA European Truck Racing Championship, all the trucks first glance look very, very similar, but believe me, they are nothing close to what you see on the road. And when you look at them, like I say, at first glance, that you can see they generally do depict the road-going variants, but as soon as you slowly start to pick them apart, you can very quickly realise that they are completely different monsters. Around about 1,200 brake horsepower, or 5,500 Newton meters worth of torque, or just over 4,000 pound-foot of torque. So they really are pedigree racing machines. We do have Christina available down on the grid, so down to you, Christina.
Yes, I'm surely available. Thank you, Jack. As you can see, the trucks are right now through the paddock, finding their positions. And I'm wondering, because qualifying should start in 5 minutes, they need to hurry up, guys. But we do have time here to, the weather is fine. The conditions are very, very good. You see them all finding their positions, and for the fans, finding their autographs. And of course, it's Antonio Albacete, and he had to sign everything this day. He had to sign a lot of T-shirts and caps, and of course, he took a lot of photos. I think he's enjoying himself, and I hope you at home are enjoying yourself too, as we do here with the music's playing. It seems they're live playing, actually. So, Jack, I hope you have fun too in your racing seat.
Thank you very much, Christina. Obviously great to be joined by Christina here at Jarama, and Antonio Albacete, very much the home favourite, of course, the only Spanish driver on the grid, and he's currently, I think, 4th in the standings, so doing very well behind the wheel of his machine. Of course, he's one of the only drivers that has really been consistent throughout the season, very consistent at Zolder, there or thereabouts, and he is slowly starting to bridge the gap between the mid-pack and the top 3, and I'm expecting yet more action throughout the weekend. Of course, Norbert Kish, he now has 8 wins to his name, so he's very, very quick, very, very competitive indeed. 5 pole positions as well, and he's had 10 top 3s, so well and truly up at the top end of affairs. Some 26 points clear of Sasha Lenz. Keep an eye out on Sasha, or keep an eye out for Sasha throughout the weekend in his number 30 MAN, the black truck with the day-glow yellow flashes. He's been there or thereabouts throughout the season as well, just struggles to really piece it all together. And of course, with qualifying and Super Pole on the way, it can only really get closer. Super Pole is, once again, if you are new to the championship, you have the standardised qualifying session, so that's where all trucks can take to the circuit and really start pushing for that lap time. If you do finish in the top 10 qualifying, you get the opportunity to better your position once again. So the top 10 from the qualifying session will go through to what is called a Super Pole session, and that is where the top 10 for the first race of the weekend will be decided, and you'll slowly start to see the drivers really get the most out of their machines. Like I say, around about 1,200 brake horsepower, 5,500 Newton meters of torque, or just over 4,000 pound-foot worth of torque if you use that variation. Initially off the line, from a standstill, they're not massively quick. 0 to 20 isn't exactly anything to shout about, but as soon as the 13-litre single turbo engine really starts to spool up and that turbo comes into its own, it's got the same 20 to 100 mile an hour time as a Porsche 911 GT3 RS. And bearing in mind, these trucks weigh a very minimum of 5.3 tons. That is incredibly quick indeed. And 3.1 of those tons has to be over the front axle, so you can imagine just how light the tail end can get. You'll see lots of drifting throughout the weekend. If you see steam or white smoke, it's nothing really to worry about. You'll see steam emanating from the brakes, because all of these trucks, like I say, at a very minimum of 5.3 tons, the brakes have to be cooled by water as well, just to make sure they can remain within that operating window. However, if you do see black smoke, it is something to worry about, because it is one of those things that can, in fact, get you draw the attention of the race stewards. The first infringement will lead to a warning, but in the case of a second infringement, it could lead to an exclusion. So the trucks have to be, or the drivers have to be so careful, and the mechanics as well, to just make sure these trucks are legal. And of course, minimising the black smoke really does help, because they all run on bio HVO diesel, which is 100% renewable. So a green side to motorsport. Back down to Christina.
The truck of Steffi Hahn, but she passed by recently, 5 seconds ago. But I wanted to show you that it is already some little damages, so it's really action going on this track. But she's right now in a good position, and she obviously wants to get into the points at this weekend. And now we see Theo Calvé, one of the young guns, crossing by Norbert Kish, and I think Kish needs to go first. He does. So everything is really good, organized down here. And as you can see, the race trucks are getting on the positions. So we are very glad that we could witness that and hopefully see a huge qualifying and interesting qualifying.
Yeah, so lots of action on the way. Thank you very much, Christina, down in the paddock, giving us an insight just to how everybody will work their way out onto the circuit. You can see Norbert Kish working towards pit exit. Adam Lachko currently sat right up at pit exit as well. Norbert, one of the drivers that we have on board cameras. We have 3 onboard cameras this weekend provided by Goodyear. One of them is the number 17 machine of Shane Brereton, then the number 33 of Jamie Anderson, and as we just saw, the number 41 of Norbert Kish. So we should end up with a few little insights throughout the weekend as to just how the drivers will negotiate this Harama circuit. On first glance, I think they're lining up in what their championship standings are. We did see Théo Calvet working his way towards the pit lane as well, ready to go out for his session. Of course, the now reigning French truck racing champion, and he has arrived here this weekend, a little far away from his Goodyear Cup rival of Shane Brereton. Once again, if you are new to the championship, there are 2 classes, the Titan class and the Chrome class. Titan being for the drivers more acclimatized to motorsport. So if you are if you enter the series and you are an FIA European Truck Racing Champion in the last 10 years, you do qualify for the Titan category. If you finished top 8 overall last season, you will also be placed in the Titan category as well. Pit exit has been opened, green flag waved, and the qualifying session will very quickly be getting underway. So we'll start to see the drivers work their way out towards the circuit and then get the trucks within that operating window ready for their qualifying session. Back to the classes, of course. Like I say, Titan class is for the slightly more acclimatised drivers to motorsport, and the Chrome class is for the drivers maybe slightly newer to not only truck racing but to motorsport as well. At the moment, all of the Chrome drivers do qualify for the Goodyear Cup, and every single Chrome driver does have points in the Goodyear Cup. At the moment, that's being led by Shane Brereton on 190 points in his TOR Truck Racing MAN. Quite a fair way away from Théo Calvet in second place, so Shane Brereton has got to make sure he defends that championship heading in towards the penultimate round of the season. And of course, in just a few weeks' time, we will head to Misano in Italy for the final round, round 8 of the season. We are here for round 7, races 17, 18, 19 and 20. So 4 races this weekend, 2 qualifying sessions, 2 Superpole sessions as well. So lots of action to look forward to. You can see there the number 55 of Adam Lachko sideways through, I think that's heading through Varzy and down towards Le Mans. Not necessarily a tight and twisty circuit. There are definite places for the trucks to stretch their legs. All these trucks are limited to 100 miles per hour or 160 kilometers an hour. And if you do go over that, you will receive a warning from the stewards, and then I do believe a penalty as well, because if you get caught overspeeding, obviously it gives you an unfair advantage, and the race stewards and race directors will be very hot on that as well. Of course, a massive thank you to our incredibly efficient circuit staff and marshals for allowing us to go racing. We wouldn't be able to go racing without them. There is the very bright number 66 MAN of Anthony Janiak working his way round as well. A few trucks haven't really attended every single round, but we have still had some very respectable grid numbers throughout the season. You can see there that's Norbert Kish and Adam Lachko. Adam, the 2017 champion, doing what he can to stay in touch with Norbert. He is still a fair few points adrift, but his main championship rival, being Sacha Lenz, just only 3 points ahead in the overall standings. Adam with 1 win to his name so far this season, but 10 top 3s, so very, very competitive indeed. Through the final corner we go, on towards the first flying laps. Of course, you can see the big old motorway on the left-hand side of the shot there. We are just north of Madrid, so traffic very quickly building up, and if you were driving by, why wouldn't you want to have a look? Norbert Kish down towards turn 1. Nuvolari, very, very tricky corner to get right. Can be quite deceptive. You've got to make sure you get the truck set up for a late apex and then minimise the oversteer on the exit. You can hear the tyres screeching away of the driving experiences available to you here at Harama. And then through Le Mans we go. And it will be up, very slight incline towards Farina. Through the right-hander, and then it's back downhill a little bit again. Tricky braking turn. There's lots of undulation before we go back uphill again on the exit of Pegaso. And running slightly wide there, I think, Antonio Albertetti, just finding his feet, getting used to the circuit. It's a fairly hot day here at Jarama. At the moment, it is well and truly sunny, somewhat hazy as well. It's not really overcast. It seems somewhat humid as well at the moment. 43% humidity, 23 degrees centigrade, or 73 degrees Fahrenheit, depending on which one you use. So a fairly hot day. The track will only get hotter as the day wears on. Of course, the trucks will be out there working into the tarmac. The track will slowly start to rubber in as well. So it should only get grippier. Through Esses de Bugatti we go. And then uphill once again towards Monza. And you can see already visually Norbert Kish has had a very good lap because he's pulled away from Adam Lachko. We'll very shortly get the times up on the board. And we will start to be able to place drivers into their various positions heading in towards the Super Pole session. So 15 minutes of the session remaining. We're starting to see the first times be posted. Adam Lachko across the line, a 1 minute 58.543. Adam Lachko 8.5 tenths behind. And then coming towards the line, Antonio Albertetti a second away from our provisional pole time as it stands. And there is, I do believe that's Jochen Hahn about to cross the line. And he goes provisional P2, only 4.5 tenths away from Norbert Kish. Steffi Halm crosses the line, 1.5 seconds drift. And it's Theo Calvet in 5th place. A good lap from Theo. Now we're starting to see the times slowly start to work their way in. The trucks will slow down once they've crossed the line, get everything back, cooled down, ready for another flying lap. Of course, like I say, these trucks, they've got a very limited operating window. They can take to the circuits at a very quick lap, but then immediately have to cool everything down, ready for another. There is Norbert Kish, getting everything cooled down, ready for another flying lap, I'm sure, in a few moments' time. We have seen Norbert post a couple of times, or maybe only one really flying lap in these qualifying sessions, return to the pit lane and just wait for the Super Pole session to work its way around. Looking towards the tail end of the order, Heinrich Clement-Hecker, 4.2 seconds adrift of our provisional pole time. Still just under 14 minutes of the session remaining, so still plenty of time for the drivers to improve upon their current times. The number 15, or the number 29, pardon me, in 15th place of Elia Koloc, one of the female drivers we have out on circuit this weekend behind the wheel of her Bagheera Freightliner. Slowly starting to see times be posted. Number 44 of Steffi Halm, currently sat in 9th place, 1.5 seconds adrift, not too far away from the number 11 of Andre Kurzim. So as soon as we get towards the mid-pack, as per usual, if you have watched the races so far this season, the mid-pack is really where the battles are. At Zolder we saw some brilliant battles as well. One of note I believe was between Stefan Faas. I think that was Rene Rayner got caught up in that battle as well. Luke Garrett has been slowly piecing his season together. He's definitely been getting quicker as the season wears on. So coming through the final corner now, are we going to see drivers improve upon their times? Norbert Kish comes in towards the pit lane, so too does Adam Lachko. There goes Stefan Faas. He is going on to another flying lap, so we may see yet further improvements. 12.5 minutes of the session still to go, so plenty of time for drivers to improve. The Tank Pool 24 Racing Scania heading in towards turn 1, a slight left kink before we get towards Nuvolari. Through the tricky long right-hander we go, trying to find a gear, make sure the turbo remains spooled up, and then through Fangio and Ferrazzi. And then in towards the left-hander at Le Mans. And it's a very quick switchback through Farina and then Pegaso. But we'll have to keep an eye on Stefan Faas, one of the only drivers I believe at the moment to go out and attempt an improvement. Stefan Faas, as it stands, down in 13th place, a 2 minute 1.488 posted. just under 3 seconds away from Norbert Kies's provisional pole time. Very quick lap from Norbert. Getting under 2 minutes around here is a challenge, so Norby in the 1:58, very quick indeed. So around Portugal we go, and then back down towards the SSD Bugatti, and we will slowly start to see in the next sort of 5 minutes the drivers once again retake to the circuit, attempting to improve upon their time. 11 minutes of the session remaining now. Still looking at Stefan Faas, and a little flick of oversteer. That will cost him momentum as he goes up the hill once again towards Monza. It's a very tricky corner to get right, with of course the elevation change starting at the exit of the corner. It's a very important corner to get right as well, because if you lose a couple of mile an hour on the exit, it will massively impede your run up the hill, and then through the final corner you've got to be so brave not to run wide. Stefan Faas pushing the limits, coming towards the line now. Can he improve upon his time? Currently sat in provisional P13, breaks the timing beam now, does improve his time, does improve his position, only by 1 position however. A 2 minute .799, call it a 2 minute .8 for argument's sake. 2.2 seconds away from Stefan Faas. I do believe we have another truck coming towards the line now. That is one of the Bagheera Racing Freightliners, potentially Elia Kolach. It was Teo Calvé coming towards the line. He does improve upon his time, improves upon his position as well. A 1 minute 59.630 posted. So a very quick lap from himself. And yet further improvements indeed. So Teo Calvé once again showing us that the Chrome class title contender, the French truck racing champion, really does have the potential to work his way in towards that title class, and if he stays with us next season, it wouldn't surprise me if he does. So, track limits warning for the number 17 at turn 5. So Shane Brereton, he's had a lap time deleted. At the moment, we'll try and figure out where he is. Number 17 down in 13th place at the moment, a 2 minute .989. Currently the fastest time for Shane. Whether that is the time that has been deleted, I don't know, but we'll see him return to the circuit, I'm sure, to get yet further improvement. Stefan Faas on another quick lap, which surprises me. Like I say, these trucks, they do need a little bit of time to cool down to get back within that operating window. Much smoother through there that time for Stefan Faas. And then back up towards Monza we go. Quick flick through the right-hander, and Stefan Faas will be coming towards the line, hopefully to improve in a few moments' time. Down to you, Christina, you have an interview.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm here with Mateusz Gierlach, and you might know him from Instagram because he has got over 60,000 followers, and now he's following Truck Race. Why?
On Instagram, I have more social media because I have Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, alles. I going first time here, this place, because Apollo talked to me. You going? It's possible, yeah. I Monday unloading on the Madrid. It's my my trailer. It's the best weekend now because this is possible. I going here. Yeah? It's super, the best team Apollo, because now I'm ambassador. Yeah, it's ambassador company Apollo. It's very nice place. Yeah.
So he surely, you heard it, the ambassador, and he's also joining Shane Brereton, who's got a little bit, yes, some kind of troubles. You saw Shane crashing into the barriers earlier this day. Did you see that?
The Shane, he going on the road. Yes, I going in the little crash. Yeah, it's he going first round. This is normal, yeah, because this is sport. It's alles guys and Shane. The team Apollo, it's a very nice place.
So we will come into. Thank you very much, sir, cameraman. Thank you very much.
Yeah, super.
Dear
Nice
Mateusz.
to meet you. Thank you very much.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay.
Yeah.
A quick word down in the pit lane, and a very helpful cameraman just letting Christina know that Teo Calvé was returning to the pit lane. There is the number 86 machine of Luke Garrett heading out to hopefully improve upon his time once again. Then the number 25 machine of Heinrich Clementecker. I do believe that truck will be for sale after the final round of the season at Misano. So if you are in the market for an MAN race truck, give Heinrich Clementecker a ring, and I'm sure he will be able to sort you out with that truck. But as the session still wears on, 6 minutes and 20 seconds of the first qualifying session of the weekend still to go. There is Stefan Faas cooling the truck down once again, surely heading in towards the pit lane. I do believe he has extracted every ounce of performance out of that truck as it stands. Down in 12th place, there is Adam Lachko's Freightliner. Initially on first glance, with 3 Bagheera Freightliners out on circuit this weekend, you may think they look very, very similar at first glance, but to pick between them, Teo Calvé is in the Freightliner with the blue flashes, so it has a blue fifth wheel, blue headlight covers and blue wing mirrors. Ilya Koloch, all the same, but in red, and Adam Lachko's all the same, but with Dayglow yellow flashes. There's the truck you cannot miss this weekend, the number 66 of Anthony Janiak. You can hear the Harama experiences working their way through the infield. The little kit cars just there and rotating through the almost autocross section in the middle of the circuit. So plenty to do here at Harama. More trucks crossing the line to go on to more flying laps. And we will slowly start to see the times tumble down, and improvements may become in the closing stages of the session. Still Norbert Kieschup at the head of affairs. I don't think we'll see him return to the circuit, but we'll have to keep an eye out just in case he decides there is a little bit more time out there. The number 33, is Jamie Anderson, has had a track limits warning and a lap time deletion because of gaining an unfair advantage whilst off the circuit. You will see around there are marker boards on the entry, apex and the exit of the corners just to denote where the track limits are, and of course they need to be quite tall, well and truly, when you're racing these trucks, because it's so difficult to see the curbs. By the time you realise where they are, you can pretty much be on them, if not over them. So you will see a few marker boards stood proud at the side of the circuit, and that is just to let the drivers know where they can and can't use all of the track. Stefan Faas has had a lap time deleted due to making contact, I believe, with a penalty marker, and Jamie Anderson was because of the same. There is Jamie Anderson through the final corner in the number 33 MAN, coming towards the line and potentially going to improve upon his time. And I do believe, Christina, you've got some quite useful information down in the pit lane.
Yes, I'm here with Stefan Faas. The windshield is broken. Deine Windschutzscheibe sieht nicht so richtig gut aus. Was ist passiert? What happened?
Die Windschutzscheibe hatte vorher schon einen Riss. Und jetzt auf die Beschleunigung hin, auf die 160, ist sie auf einen Schlag gebrochen.
So it had a crack earlier, and due to speeding up to 160 kilometers per hour, it broke completely. Are you able to switch that? Also ihr könnt es noch tauschen jetzt?
Ja, wir tauschen das jetzt. Wir holen jetzt die Freigabe, dass wir im Park Vermeer am Auto arbeiten können, und dann tauschen wir die Scheibe. Okay. Schon vorbereitet alles.
Alles klar. Danke. Good luck. So they're trying to switch the windshield as quick as possible. Of course, you have to talk to all the officials, getting the permission to do that in the Park Vermeer. Everything is ongoing. It's all prepped, and he seemed very calm, didn't he?
Yeah, he did indeed. If I was driving 160 kilometers an hour and my windshield decided to do that, I would be, somewhat on edge. But it just shows that these trucks, with them being almost a completely flat front, the air will struggle to escape, and a slight crack in the windscreen can really evolve into something rather dangerous very quickly. I'm sure the team working hard to get that windscreen replaced, and of course safety has to be the #1 priority, so they'll get that fixed, get that truck signed off by the circuit officials and the championship officials as well, just to make sure that that truck is safe to return to the circuit under racing conditions. I'm sure we'll see him out for the first race of the weekend, potentially even Super Bowl if they can get it fixed extra quick, but I very much doubt that will happen. 2 minutes of the session remaining at the moment. See Anthony Janiak and Jamie Anderson currently out on flying laps. There is Shane Brereton pulling over towards the left-hand side, just making sure he gets out of the way of Janiak and Brereton. So at the moment, Brereton down in 14th place. Can he improve upon his time? Crosses the line now, and we don't see any improvement from Janiek, and I don't believe we see any improvement from Anderson either. No, we don't. So, not really what we're looking for, but with 1.5 minutes of the session remaining, they will both get another lap. That could have been maybe just a warm-up lap, getting the truck up to temperature, and then going back out once again to attack the Harama circuit, getting ready to improve upon their times. And we'll very quickly see them come back into Sharton, potentially rather sideways as well. Somewhat the way to drive these trucks. The steering wheel doesn't really do that much apart from correct all the oversteer that these trucks get. You can very much steer them with the tail end and the power. Like I say, you've got over 5,500 Newton meters worth of torques, so that's a hell of a lot underneath your right foot. That's Jamie Anderson working his way up the inside of Janiek, so we could potentially see an improvement from Anderson. He's really pushing forward now. From Anderson, yes. Anderson now working his way through the S's. You can see the elevation change there. The camber works with you and then against you on the way through. And Janiek will bring an end towards his qualifying session because he won't get round to the line in 30 seconds. So expect to see that truck return towards the pit lane. And that will bring an end to Janiek's session. At the moment, he is in 11th place, so he has just missed out on Superpole. And with Anderson on an even quicker lap, we could slowly start to see a few more drivers get demoted out of the Superpole session. At the moment, René Rayner is the driver at risk. Through the penultimate corner we go. Jamie Anderson getting very, very close to the marker. And then through the final corner we go. Pushing towards the line, checkered flag in the air. And Jamie Anderson crosses the line. Does he improve? Yes, he does. Just misses out on Superpole. Missed out by around about 3/10 of a second. And that's only good enough for 11th place, a 2 minutes, 0.648. So Jamie Anderson won't be too impressed with that. But 11th place, not too bad of a position to start the first race of the weekend. The top 10 very much still in the air, of course, with the Superpole session on the way. We will see the drivers battle it out for those final top 10 places, and we will get the confirmed grid for race 1 come the end of Superpole session as well. So now anybody out on circuit, if they're coming towards the line to complete their flying lap, they will take the checkered flag, and that will bring an end to the qualifying session, and nobody can go on to another flying lap anymore. So in between this qualifying session and Superpole session, the Spanish Truck Racing Championship will take to the circuit for the first race of their weekend, and then as and when the Spanish Truck Racing Championship bring an end to their first race, we will see the first race for the FIA European Truck Racing Championship. We will be back live once again here from Jarama. You can see the Ford F-Max advertising in the background. The Ford F-Max is the official truck of the FIA European Truck Racing Championship. It was designed and tested by around about 500 Ford engineers over a 5-year period, and it was well and truly tested throughout 11 countries, 4 continents, 233 prototype units, and over 5 million kilometres worth of road testing. So it really is a brilliant piece of equipment, is the Ford F-Max. We will see that, I'm sure, a little later on, as the qualifying session is just wearing down. We will soon get the Superpole session underway. We do have an interview with Truck 14, so Jose Rodrigues, down to you, Christina.
Yes, thank you very much, José. O objetivo era só finalizar e finalmente está no Super Bowl. His objective was just to get the race until the end, and right now he's in Super Bowl. How did that happen?
Estou bastante contente. Foi a primeira vez que peguei no carro. Estou a ganhar alguma confiança no carro e a conhecer melhor o carro para tentar melhorar volta após volta.
So he's super happy and he's really getting some new, right confident behavior in his truck. So he's trying to get ready now. Good luck. As you can see, they need to get started. So the Portuguese came here with all his family, his father and his son. They're competing as well in the local championship. So the 3 generations of Portuguese here. That's the good news.
Yeah, it is indeed. looking forward to seeing how Jose gets on throughout the weekend in the number 14 machine. I'm sure we will see a lot more of him. And just waiting for the drivers to get ready for their Super Pole session. As we heard there, the Super Pole session is almost getting underway. The top 10 drivers that will be entering the next session will be Norbert Kish, the number 1 of Jochen Hahn, then it's Adam Lachko, Sasha Lenz, Antonio Albertetti, Teo Calvé, Jose Rodriguez, then it's Andre Kurzim, Steffi Harm and René Reiner, all vying for those top 10 places here at Jarama for the first race of the weekend. And it won't take long before the session gets underway. You can see the red light still illuminated at the tail end of the pit lane. As soon as they go green, Norbert Kish will be given the all clear to take to the circuit. Of course, just a few more checks being made. Make sure all the trucks are ready to return to the circuit. Make sure the track is ready for the trucks to return as well. You can see the marshals and circuit staff taking a few photos, a few selfies with these trucks. It's not something you really see every day out racing. 1200 horsepower, 5,500 Newton meters worth of torque available in these race trucks. So why wouldn't you, when you've got the opportunity to take a photo up close and personal with these racing machines? I really don't blame them. So just waiting for the session to tick over from qualifying to Super Pole. And then we will get a little bit more on-track action underway. The FIA European Truck Racing Championship, all of the trucks you see out on circuit this weekend will be running on bio HVO diesel, which is 100% renewable energy as well. Green light has now been illuminated. The Super Pole session will be underway in a few moments' time. And with it being 100% renewable, we are slowly getting closer to a greener side of motorsport. So it's not only the trucks that try and run as green as possible, also all of the trucks that bring the circuit furniture with them, all of the mechanics, everybody like that, trying to make sure they are as eco-friendly as possible. And the goal is to have an absolute net zero by 2038 by the very latest. So 0 emissions produced throughout a racing weekend. And I'm sure that will very quickly come around. You can see there Norbert Kish just getting everything up to temperature, being followed by Jochen Hahn and Adam Lachko. Of course, Norbert Kish being the fastest in the qualifying session, it means he can retake to the circuit in the lead, so he's got all that clean air to work his way into. Adam Lachko being somewhat held up there by Jochen Hahn. I'm sure he's ready to get going, ready to make the most of the 10-minute Super Pole session that is now underway. Riding on board with Norbert Kish. Brilliant onboard cameras provided by Goodyear, one of the partners here at the FIA ETRC. May as well get a quick word with the partners. So it's the official partners of the FIA ETRC are Goodyear, Iveco, Alcoa Wheels, Ford Trucks, Smart Witness, and Kogel Trailers. Smart Witness, I'm sure we will end up seeing a little bit from what they can produce. Of course, we had the slight incident this morning with Shane Brereton. And I think we will potentially have some cameras from that a little later on. If you are only just joining us, we are here at Harama for round 7 of the championship. The initial qualifying session has just subsided. We now have 8 minutes remaining of the Super Pole session, and Norbert Kish is very much the favourite championship leader, looking to potentially add another pole to his name. Currently had 5 poles so far this season, looking to make it a 6th, and then potentially evolve that pole into a win. 8 wins so far this season as well, so very, very quick driver. Got a lot of passionate fans as well. We always see the Norby fans, whether it be on Facebook or on Instagram or various other social medias and in the YouTube chats as well. But through the final corner for the first time in the Super Pole session goes Norbert Kish, and being followed by Jochen Hahn. So with just over 7 minutes of the Super Pole session remaining, we are starting to see the trucks head on towards their first flying laps. And it's the Hungarian in the number 41 machine that will lead the entire field down towards turn 1 for the first time. You see Sasha Lenz in the background there, heading towards the start-finish line, going on towards his first flying lap. Norbert Kish sideways on the exit of Nuvolari and Fangio. And then through a quick right-hander at Varzy before you jump on the brakes, ready for Le Mans. And it's a quick burst of acceleration towards Farina. And it's just a very quick flick left through Pegaso and back up the hill once again towards the S's. So riding on board with Norbert Kish now, you can see the tail end twitching as he tries to put the power down. All of the curve being utilised under the Dunlop Bridge. And then towards the S's we go at Ascari. So a quick right, then a quick left, then hard on the brakes. You can see the steam emanating from those front brakes as he desperately tries to spray them with water, get them cooled down on the exit of Portago. It's a very long right-hander with a couple of apexes of choice, and then it's down the hill towards Bugatti. Hard on the brakes once again. They just disappear out of sight for a few moments' time before they reappear once again. Uphill on the exit, and then it's towards the penultimate corner of Monza. Norbert Kish, well and truly on an absolute mission. You can see how much time he's pulled away from Jochen Hahn. Jochen Hahn, no stranger to truck racing. He is the 2011, 2012, 2013, 2016, 2018 and 2019 champion of the FIA European Truck Racing Championship. And of the years he didn't finish first, he finished second. So in 2014, 15 and 17, he finished second in the championship. Norbert Kish crosses the line, a 1 minute 58.203 posted. Then it's Jochen Hahn next with a 1 minute 58.902, some 7 tenths away from the provisional pole time. Then it's Adam Lachko, a second away. Can Sascha Lenz work his way in towards the top 3? Yes, he can. Provisional P2 for Sascha Lenz, only a quarter of a second away from Norbert Kish, and now we're seeing everybody else post their relative times. So Antonio Albacete, the home favourite, only 2/100ths of a second away from a potential position change. Adam Lachko, just like I say, 2/100ths of a second up the road so far. Then it's Teo Calvé and Rodriguez, Kurzim, Reina and Steffi Halm. 2 seconds at the moment, 2.2 seconds separating the top 10 drivers. Through Farina we go, and then back towards Pegaso. We'll slowly start to see the drivers initially cool the trucks down and then get back on it, ready for another flying lap. Very limited time-wise in these sessions, so you've got to make sure if you get a lap in, you get the truck cooled down and then back within its optimised window, ready for another lap, because there's no guarantee that you will get 3 flying laps in these sessions. There is Norbert Kish, lights ablaze, just so everybody knows that his intentions are for another pole position. Now through Portago, and then just slowly starting to wind it up again on the exit, making sure himself and the truck are ready for another rotation here at Jarama. 3.85 kilometers or 2.39 miles completes a full lap here in Spain. And you can see the momentum slowly starting to build up in that truck, and with Sascha Lenz only being a quarter of a second behind, if I was Norby, I would definitely go out and go for another flying lap, because that is incredibly close, especially for truck racing as well. So we could see Norby go out and try and improve upon his time. 1 minute 58.203, his current fastest time. You can see Jochen Hahn getting closer, making sure he is ready for another lap, I'm sure. Norbert Kish, you can hear the revs rise on the exit of the penultimate corner, and then through the final corner they both go. So it's Norbert Kish at the moment leading Jochen Hahn around, and towards the timing beam they go, on towards what will be potentially their penultimate flying lap, seeing as they've crossed the line now, and with it being under a 2-minute lap time and still 2 minutes 30 of the session remaining, we could see 2 back-to-back flying laps from a few of these drivers. Norbert Kish in towards turn 1. The nose of the truck dives down as he jumps on the brakes to desperately get that truck slowed down. The tail end of the truck switching away on the exit. Very much steer the truck with the rear. Once you've got all that power available to you, you may as well. Saves those front tyres as well. Quite a shallow line from both drivers in towards Le Mans. Grabbing the later apex. Very sideways on the exit. Norbert Kish down through Farina, in towards Pegaso once again, still nose to tail. Jochen Hahn slowly falling away from Norbert Kies, so you can visually see the time difference between the pair of them. The crowd getting behind some of our drivers this weekend. So as they work their way over Ascari and in towards Portago, we will see whether Norbert Kies has given it everything he can and a little bit more to improve upon his time and potentially make his provisional pole position slightly safer. Sacha Lenz still sat there in second place. I'm sure he's out and circulating as well for his final Super Pole lap. Norbert Kies heading now through Bugatti and then up towards Monza. It would be great to get an on-board from Norbert through that final corner, just to visually see how quick he can take that, whether he can take it flat out as well. So through Monza we go, and then it's the quick burst down towards Tunnel, where of course we saw the incident, and Norbert Kies has abandoned that lap, evidently not happy with the improvements. He does have another lap available to him, like I say, still 40 seconds of the session remaining, but he's massively compromised his momentum on towards the start-finish line. So Norbert Kies, I don't think we'll see an improvement. Will we see an improvement from Jochen Hahn? Cross the line now? No, he's around about a tenth slower than his current fastest lap time. Antonio Albertetti in the background coming towards the start-finish line. Can he improve upon his time? At 1 minute 59.252 to beat, and he too is just under a tenth of a second away from what was his fastest time. Adam Lachko, the next driver to cross the line. Does he improve? A 1 minute 59.016 to beat. I don't think he has improved upon that time. Very even through the first sector. All drivers around about 47 seconds to go from the start-finish line to the exit of Sector 1. Norbert Kies, the only driver to work his way into the 46-second margin for his Sector 1 time. Now we're seeing the drivers just get everything cooled down potentially for the end of the session, because if you do want to go on to another flying lap, you've now got all of that congestion, all of the trucks slowing their way down towards the pit lane. Just looking at the body language of all the trucks, I don't think we have any more trucks heading on towards another flying lap. So for a lot of the drivers, the first lap time they posted was the one they will finish the session with. We've only seen one improvement from the second rounding of lap times, and that's Andre Curzin. He's managed to work his way from 9th up to 8th place at 1 minute 59.825. So René Rayner, one of the fellow Iveco drivers, has dropped down a position. There is Jochen Hahn, 6-time champion, 3-time runner-up, bringing his truck around towards the pit lane. I'm hoping we will be able to get an interview down with a few of our drivers before we end up handing back over to the Spanish Truck Racing Championship for their first race of the weekend. Now all of the drivers just making sure they get everything cooled down, and of course making sure the truck is legal for Parc Fermé. We've seen a few trucks throughout the season fall foul of that. Need to make sure that the truck is safe and legal to compete, and you go to an area, if you are new to motorsport, after the race or after any session, you will go back to Parc Fermé, where the championship and circuit officials will look around your racing machine just to make sure that it does fit within the regulations and make sure that it is safe for motor racing. And if it is, brilliant. If it isn't, then you're going to find yourself with potentially quite a sizable penalty or even a disqualification from the results. But now, heading through the final corner, comes Jochen Hahn with Antonio Albertetti in tow. Jose Rodriguez is under investigation by our race stewards for a potential over-speeding infringement, and we mentioned it towards the start of the qualifying session. These trucks are electronically limited to 160 kph or 100 miles an hour, and now the lap time has been deleted for Jose Rodriguez, so that time will be deleted. But that was the qualifying and the Super Bowl session here at Jarama, the first session of the weekend. But from myself, Jack Werrell, for the final time, it's back down to Christina.
Thank you very much, Jack. And we do not forget our German commentator, Joachim Eberts. Welcome to Jarama from me as well. I forgot that, I think, earlier. So we're here ahead of the Apollo Tyres team, number 17, Shane Brereton. But he's in the trolley and he's not feeling very well. He does not want to speak to us because we respect totally that, because he had an incident ahead of the qualifying. We mentioned it earlier, you might have noticed. So please, our commentators, get back into your seats because now we want to show you the scenes of this special incident from the truck with Shane Brereton.
Thank you very much, Christina. Riding on board with Shane Brereton. Through the final corner he came, and he had a mechanical issue. I do believe a spring snapped, and very much a passenger at that point, straight in towards the tyres. Quite a hard hit indeed. Hopefully Shane Brereton is all okay. And then the marshals and circuit staff, you can hear him speaking to his team, letting them know what's going on, and the incredibly efficient circuit staff and marshals came over, obviously, to make sure he's okay. Quite sizable damage on that truck, so the spring, the bumper and the bodywork all having to be repaired. Very efficient work indeed. You can see the team working hard to make sure that truck could get out for the qualifying session, and everything has once again been refitted. But with qualifying and Super Bowl over, we do have the results available to you. So this is how they will line up for the first race of the weekend. Norbert Kish takes pole position at 1 minute 58.203. Then it's Sasha Lenz in second place, followed by Jochen Hahn. Adam Lachko joins Jochen on the second row of the grid. Then it's Antonio Albertetti and Teo Calvé. Another good qualifying from Teo. Don't rule him out for potentially another Goodyear Cup win throughout this weekend. Then on towards the final few drivers out in race one. It's Jamie Anderson, Anthony Janiak, Stefan Farr, Shane Brereton, Elia Goloch, Luke Garrett and Heinrich Clemens-Hecker in 17th place. So 17 trucks all taking to the circuit for the first race of the weekend. And as the track falls quiet once again, the Spanish Truck Racing Championship will take to the circuit as well. But I do believe that will be all from us until race one. That will take place just a little later on. Of course, we are around about 1 hour behind schedule with the circuit furniture being repaired due to that incident we just saw there from Shane Brereton. But back down to you, Christina.
Yes, as you said, we have a 1 hour delay, and we're delighted to see you back then on our YouTube channel or directly on our homepage of the FIA ETRC. I'm standing here in front of the stands, and it's really great to see all the people. I mean, they've been here for hours and they're still in such a good mood because the Spanish, as you said, Truck Championship will take place right now. We've seen a lot of good competition, but it's yet to start this weekend at Jarama. So yes, I think we will see you soon ahead of race one. Until then, have a good time.